Pitch to the outside, runs and trying to bust through the hole and gets it. That mower down, trying to bust through, touchdown.
He's a back, this one's tipped away. Beaker on the move.
Goldstein, Gilbert right in the corner, this one in front, and there it goes, Justin Goldstein.
Hello folks, welcome to the Allison pregame show. I'm Javik Blake. Last time Norton Lancers met the Dover-Sherborn Raiders was for the TVL title, with a 1-1 draw coming out of the match and a shared combined TVL title between both teams. And tonight, it's more of the same storyline. Both teams come in tonight tied for second place in the TVL Small at 9 points apiece. The Lancers come into tonight at a 4-1-0 record record on the year while winning 3 of their 4 conference matchups, and they're coming off a big 3-1 victory over Rhode Island powerhouse Barrington, who they also beat last year as well. DS comes into the night riding a 5-game unbeaten streak to start the season. A very good squad, very well coached, and they have a hot start to the season. All 3 of their TVL matchups there as well, 3-0, and look to continue their very, very hot start tonight against a Lancer team that is coming off a lot of big victories. But back to the Lancers now. After a loss to Medway to start the season, they've been flying high on a 4-game winning streak that's seen them score 15 goals and only allow 5 to start the season, which is just unprecedented for a Lancer team that came out on opening night against Medway and promptly lost 4-0. They're being led on the offensive side by Will and Jack O'Brien, who've combined for 7 goals this year with 2 assists as well. They're really leading the way up front. Andrew Kambinski's getting a lot of help as well as you see guys like Brian Sullivan, who got his first goal as a varsity player last game. He'll be starting him back for the Lancers tonight in their last game at home here at Robert Adams Field. Well, it was a smackdown. They beat the Westwood Wolverines by a score of 8-3, which included 5 first-half goals, and all 5 coming in a 15-minute span, which was capped off by a Brian Sullivan stunner in extra time in the first half in the 42nd minute. An absolute stunner, really capped the offense for the first half. The Lancers kept the momentum going, and 7 different players scored all those 8 goals that game, with Jack O'Brien being the only one to reach 2. Now back to Dover-Sherborn. They're a team that relies on offense in a big way, and the Lancers, this very good defensive team, is going to create quite the interesting matchup. They've also scored 15 goals over their first 5 matches. The last game in Natick, they were only held to 1 and gave up the game-tying goal in the 79th minute at home against Natick, which is really something they're going to try and reverse their fortunes tonight. But they're going to look to start a new streak as that game ended their 4-match winning streak to start the year. Tonight for the Lancers, they're going to look to capitalize and build off their hot start to the season against a highly talented Raider team who coming into the night is in a 4-0-1 clip and has not lost this season. And they stand as the Lancers' 4th big test to start the year. Well, the starting goalkeeper, starting lineups to kick off coming up next from right here at Robert Adams Field. I'm Javik Blake. This has been Allison Pregame, and this is Friday Night Football right here on LSN. Hello, folks. Welcome to Robert Adams Field. I'm Javik Blake. Norton Lancers, Dover-Sherborn Raiders here tonight under the floodlights. Beautiful rendition of the national anthem sung by Norton High School's own Caitlin Bailey to start off the action. And the Dover-Sherborn Raiders coming into tonight, second place in the TVL Smalls. We said in our opener at a 3-0-0 clip. The Lancers at 3-1-0, both tied at 9 points as well. Starting in net tonight for the Dover-Sherborn Raiders will be the senior goalkeeper James Shue. And out in the field, it'll be Russell Seold, Sal Bram, Leon Walsh, John Muxat, Maximo Lockhart-Kramer, Christopher Much, George Manini, Elliot Hammernass, Elliot Conlow, and Glenn Caldecott. On the other side of things for the Lancers, they'll have Derek Alexander, the junior, starting in net for them. Number 0, he's 4-1-0 in the season, saving 23 of 32 shots, allowed 9 goals, and has 1 shutout. But during this streak of 4 straight wins for the Lancers, he saved 20 of 25, good for an 800 percentage on saves. On the midfield, they'll have Kyle Houlihan, Brian Sullivan, Will O'Brien, and Jack O'Brien. On the defensive side, they'll have Nick Chu and Edward Abuzet at forward. They'll have DJ Eno, Andrew Kabinski there as well to start off tonight, as well as Declan Diestel. So the Lancers getting ready to go. DJ Eno in the spot in the center of the Lancers. Going with a 4-4-2 formation to start off tonight, trying for their 5th straight win here tonight under a beautiful fall night here at Robert Adams Field. Eno kicks it off, and here we go. Lancers going left to right in their screen, dressed in the all-purple. Dover-Sherborn, on the other hand, going right to left. Dalton kicks this one forward. Looked to be taken by Turcotte, doesn't get it, and now it'll go the other way. Dalton pushed to the ground here, brought forward by Will O'Brien. Over to Chu. Has it, tries to get it back to O'Brien. Doesn't work, and now it'll go the other way. It's George Benini getting it forward. And it's Sal Brain. As Chu tries to get that one up, kicks off his own defender, and Dover-Sherborn will try to get something going here. Tries to bring it forward from outside the 18. Brings it inside the box, kept out, and kicked away by the Lancers. Kept in by a good play from Diestel over to Kabinski. Looking to play it back, sends it over to Brian Sullivan. This Lancer team lately has been very offensively minded. They've scored a combined 13 goals in their last 3 games, including scoring 9 of the 13 in the first half itself. They beat Bellingham 2-0 back on the 13th of September. The 14th, they beat Westwood by a score of 8-3. And the 19th, just on Wednesday, they beat Barrington by a score of 3-1, with many of their goals coming in the first half. They're really a team that likes to get out to a very hot start and get something going in the early going. But it's going to be a tough test tonight against a very good Dover-Sherborn team. Houlihan has to play back on his own, plays it off a defender. And that one will go out for a corner. So an early corner, an early set piece here for Dover-Sherborn in the 2nd minute. Here's we're under the floodlights here. A beautiful night for soccer. Temperatures at about 63 degrees, cloudy. Winds away at about 9 miles per hour. The set piece curled in towards the box, headed out by the Lancers. They're going to look to try and get it upfield. Diaz kicks it back to Benini. Kicked away. Now the Lancers will get something going here. You got Kabinski bringing it up on the outside. Plays it in a beautiful pass to Declan Diestel. That's just outside of the foot. And they'll say it went off of Diestel, and it'll be a Diaz throw. Dover-Sherborn coming into their game just on Thursday against Natick, or on Monday against Natick. They were at a 4-0-0 clip and looked like they might have had a chance to run the tables this year until they gave a big game-tying goal all the way in the 79th minute to Natick, as we said in the opener, which knotted that game up at 1-1, ended in a 1-1 draw, and dropped DS to 4-0-1 on the season. Still very much in the hunt for the playoff points. Wouldn't be surprised if they made it there again. A foul call and the ball will be going the Lancers' way. Wouldn't be surprised if they made it there once again. They've made it there each of the past 2 years as well, and they've had quite the success. 2016, they only lost 1 game all season until they lost in penalty kicks to Martha's Vineyard in the 2nd round of the tournament. They were TVL small champions. The Lancers, remember, were in the large for those 2 years, which they won both of those years, the TVL. And in 2017, went 14-4-4, lost to Norwell in the South sectional semifinals, and were the TVL champions as well. They're coached by a very good man, John Garusik, whose record stands at 14-11-11 in the past 3 years, including 31-5-9 in the last 2 years, which means this is a tough test for the Lancers if they want to get anything going here. Abuse with a long throw, headed in front of the nets, and headed out in a very good play by the DS defense. And a clear as well. Brian Sullivan tagged with a foul, and it'll be a free kick. An interesting thing to note, though, the Dover-Sherborn Raiders during the regular season have been an absolutely dominant team. Don't exactly have any state titles to show for. They haven't won since 2012, as this one's headed back, and it'll be brought back up forward by the Lancers. But their last regular season loss was to the Norton Lancers, this very field, on October 10th of 2017, a 4-2 loss in a very well-contested game, and one that was tight to the finish. The Lancers ended up pulling away with a commanding 4-2 victory, but that was the last time they lost in the regular season. Almost 365 days exactly. About a month off, but they haven't lost in quite some time in the regular season. They're looking to continue that tonight, as that one's picked up easily by James Shue, the senior goalkeeper. But the Lancers have been a dangerous team these past few years. They've been knocking off a lot of good teams, and this year's been no different. Westwood coming into their matchup last Friday looked like it would have been a very tough test for the Lancers, a very competitive match at that. But it turned out to be very much the opposite. Most goals scored by the Lancers this year, and most goals scored since they played Bellingham last year away. He scored 8 goals that match. Now you have Edward Abuzet looking for the long throw from about 25 yards out. He's a kid that can throw it all the way to the back post. This one's up and inside the box. Looked to be headed on by the Lancers. Didn't have enough muscle on it. Now it'll go the other way. Dover-Sherborn looked to get a run at it as that one goes over the touchline. And the Lancers here will have a throw in with Nick Chu doing the honors. 6th minute, 0-0 on the scoreline between the Lancers and the Raiders. Here on Friday Night Soccer. And a beautiful night at Robert Adams Field. Dino with the kick just wide of the net. And it'll be a goal kick here. Some substitutions coming on. It'll be Declan Diestel. And what looks like Andrew Kabinski coming on for Colton Hughes and Edward Abuzet. John Muckstadt doing the honors here. Boots this one high towards midfield. Looking to get into the attacking half of Dover-Sherborn. He does. That one goes off a Lancer heading out of bounds over the touchline. And it'll be a throw for the DS Raiders. Kabinski looking to intercept that pass. He does. Trying to go the other way. The Lancers, they don't get the opportunity, and now this is forward. It'll be DJ Eno chasing after this one towards the far corner. And kicked out and away by Elliot Hammernass for a Lancer throw, and here comes Edward Abuzet. We saw last Friday his throw against Westwood. Had a huge throw to put the Lancers ahead in that one in the first half. He had one against Bellingham on the last Thursday as well, and he's looking to do the same here. Lancers with 4 in the box. The long throw in. Headed in front. They got the opportunity, but some great defense by Dover-Sherborn. Pushing it forward to Abuzet. Abuzet, the long shot from outside the 18 doesn't work. And now it'll be bodies flying on the ground and a foul will call to the Lancers and Edward Abuzet. Eight minutes into this one. Attack playing pretty much even on both sides of the ball. Not a whole lot of opportunities, but the attacking presence has been there for both squads here in the early going. Hughes flying up with this one. Heads it on forward. Eno with an opportunity looking to get something to work. Couldn't get it around Muckstadt, the senior captain, as that one goes out over the touchline and a Lancer throw. Coach Green using those unlimited substitutions to his advantage here in the early going. You've seen Declan Diestel be subbed on quite a few times, as well as Andrew Kabinski for Edward Abuzet. Abuzet and Hughes standing on the sideline, ready to come in once again, but we're going to have a corner kick. DJ Eno will do the honors. Had an assist last game, or had the secondary assist last game off of a corner itself. That led to the Lancers' second goal. This one in front, headed away, and out of harm's way as Houlihan tries to kick this one on towards net. Caught easily by James Shue. The Lancers' first shot on net of the night is corralled easily here in the 9th minute. Shue sends this one in the air. A missed opportunity for a header by Dalton. And Kabinski trying to keep this one in play. Doesn't work, and it'll go the Dover-Sherborn Raiders' way. The home field for the Lancers these past few years has been something that they've relished in. It's been quite the advantage over the past few years. They're 1-0-0 at home this year. They have not had a home record. They have not had a losing record at home each of the last 4 years here at Norton. And it doesn't look like they'll continue it. The home presence has been quite impactful for the Lancers over a few years, and you saw in their playoff runs that they've had. Home field is very much played into their hands with the way the field is not turf but grass. Most other fields in Massachusetts are turf, which lends to quite a different playing surface and quite a different game. As this one goes over the touchline, and the Lancers will have a corner kick here in the 10th minute. Knotted at 0. It'll be DJ Eno swinging his right foot in to kick this one on towards net. And subsequently kicked out by Elliot Hammernass with yet another clear. As that went over the touchline, the Lancer throw. O'Brien sends this one out, and it'll go DS's way. A team that historically has been a very strong program, unlike the Lancers, who for many years were mired in mediocrity. Up until Coach Green's arrival, who just notched his 150th win as the Lancer head coach here in his 13th season, and he's been credited by many coaches throughout the MIAA for really turning the Lancers around for what was for a long time, a mediocre program. As this one crossed inside the box, in front, Kabinski with the opportunity doesn't work, and it's punched out in a great sequence by the Lancers there, applying the pressure. Some big-time pressure in the box there for the Lancers. Had 3 opportunities, failed on each one of them, mostly in part to James Shue standing on his head there inside the 6. This one taken by Nick Shue. Pushes it over inside the 18, able to kick it out. And it looks like it clips Elliot Conlow, and now a corner for the Lancers here in the 13th minute, trying to get something going, trying to take that early goal and early advantage. Their first half scoring prowess has been evident all season long. DJ Eno in front trying to find connection with Dalton, doesn't work. Chu will take it up. The long shots from way out, misses wide. The Lancers calling a timeout here in the early going in the 13th minute. Scoreline knotted at 0 as the Lancers trying to get something going. They've had the opportunities, but can't quite convert here on Friday Night Soccer, right here on LSN. I'm Javic Blake here as the Lancers Sports Network's coverage of Norton High School athletics continues here in our 5th season. Covering Norton High School sports. Boys soccer action tied at 0 here in the 13th minute. The Lancers have had quite the opportunities here in the early going. They put 5 shots, 3 of them on net. And they'll try to get that first goal. After a timeout by Coach Green and the Norton Lancers, they'll get things going here. Sullivan tries and pushes this forward, doesn't work. Now it's Sal Brine pushing this forward, but picked up easily by Derek Alexander. Coach Green for the Lancers, as I said just a few minutes ago, for the Lancers, a flurry of opportunities. So won his 150th game with the Lancers against Barrington 2 nights ago. Is Nick Chu trying to bring that one up? He stopped, and now it'll go the other way. Won his 150th game with the Lancers, and really has been credited by lots of coaches throughout the MIAA for helping really turn this program around and turning it back into more of a blue-collar type team that was mired in mediocrity when he took it over 13 years ago back in 2005. A team that hadn't won a TVL title since 2001. A team that hadn't really had any success, had very limited success coming into his tenure. And since his tenure, he's really turned this team fully around from not only a good team, but a great team and a powerhouse here in the MIAA. As Shue will have a goal kick here. Sends this one on towards midfield. And headed in the air, Dalton trying to grab it and puts it forward. Kabinski passes it back. And the Lancers going back and forth, and now this one to Chu. But Green, as the Lancers head coach, has had unmitigated success compared to all of his previous successes. Won 2 TVL titles, which is more combined than they had when he came in to his coaching tenure. As a throw here for DS in the 15th minute, still knotted at 0. The Lancers really controlling possession here in the early going. He won the state championship back in 2015 on the backs of some great players who really took to his coaching, and then heartbreak the last 2 seasons. But they've been a team that has constantly been in the playoff picture, constantly in the state championship talk, and it's been the same thing with Dover-Sherborn, which would begin to tell you that it's going to be a very good match tonight. And so far on the onset, it's been very much like that. Evenly matched, the Lancers controlling a good amount of the possession, but Dover-Sherborn turning them away time and time again. Edward Abuzet kicks this in front. In front for Houlihan, doesn't work off a long throw, and now it'll go the other way. This one finds its way all the way back to Derek Alexander. And now there's Andrew Dalton flying over to Captain John Muckstadt off a foul, and the Lancers will get things going here with a free kick. Last time at home against Westwood, they had a direct free kick from about the same spot, maybe a little bit closer. Called no goal after DJ Eno rocketed into the net. The ref said Brian Sullivan on the direct free kick, he had to touch it before Eno could hit it, and it didn't look that way. But here comes Sullivan from outside, passes it off to the left, doesn't work. And the set piece fails to work for the Lancers, but they're going to say it went off of George Benini. In much to the dismay of the Dover-Sherborn Raiders, the Lancers are going to get things going in a hurry. O'Brien sends it forward to Jack O'Brien, back to Will. And a foul will called, as DS will get the ball here in the 16th minute. Not a lot of huge opportunities here in the early going, but lots of back and forth soccer. Two teams that have been very evenly matched throughout the years. Norton winning the season series last year with 1 win. They draw the other game, a 1-1 tie, which was trying to break who would become the TVL champion. The Lancers winning the large, DS winning the small. Both teams came out with a tie, so technically a shared TVL title. Both teams will take home the TVL division titles as well. Nick Chu will get the throw in here from about 40 yards out, as Hughes and Abuzet subbed out. As it's Diestel getting into the action, as well as Andrew Kabinski. Dover-Sherborn very much have been pushed back deep into their defending zone time and time again by this Lancer attack that has just been absolutely relentless here in the early going. It's O'Brien trying to get this one forward. Passes it over to Will. Tries to chip this forward, loses his footing a bit. And this one will be played back to Alexander. The only time Alexander has had to touch the ball so far in the early going is we're almost about halfway through the first half, 18 minutes in. It's just been to either pick up a shot or simply just an errant opportunity by the Dover-Sherborn Raiders. This one headed out by the Lancers. Chu pushes this forward. And O'Brien trying to keep it in the touchline, but they're going to say it went over. As Muckstadt sends this one downfield. And we're going to get a throw. 19th minute here, score still level at 0. Here comes Elliot Conwell, sending this one on forward. As Chu trying to get that one, kicks it out. And we'll have a DS opportunity. The DS Raiders with a long throw from in on out, in towards net, in the 6 over everybody, and easily picked up by Derek Alexander, who once again has not had to make any hard saves tonight, and not even a save itself. The DS has yet to put a shot, even much less on target, just a shot in general. As they'll try and push this one forward. That back line for the Lancers that played a key role early in the season, and they're playing a key role here tonight. Playing with 4 back. This one sent back to Alexander again. That back line of Nick Chu, Brian Sullivan, Kyle Houlihan, and Ben Pescad doing big things for the Lancers here in the early going. They've stifled almost every opportunity for Dover-Sherborn. It hasn't allowed them to get anything close to Derek Alexander, much less inside the 18 with the ball in hand. This is Declan Diestel trying to bring it up, missing it as Chu grabs it. Pass it back to Dalton. Forward now, and it's Jack O'Brien. 3 goals on the season, looking to pick up a 4th here tonight. And what would be his 4th point in his last 3 matches. Has 3 in his last 2. 2 goals and 1 assist. Houlihan bringing this one up. Over to Diestel. Diestel can't quite control it. And going down is Glenn Caldecott. O'Brien, his last 2 matches against Westwood last Friday, had 2 goals, and against Barrington just 2 days ago on Wednesday, had an assist as well. 21st minute, 9-0, and what's been a fantastic match in the early going. Caldecott trying to bring this one forward. Misses as it goes to Nilt. Nilt the shot. That one goes high and over the net. So the first shot of the night for the Dover-Sherborn Raiders, missing high. And over the head of Alexander will get a goal kick. Dover-Sherborn getting the throw in there after some confusion on both sides on who exactly would take it. It's going to be a Dover-Sherborn throw. Trying to get something going here in the early going on what's a busy night here in Lancer Nation. Volleyball playing Dedham right now inside the high school at Lawrence Rock Gymnasium. Girls soccer losing earlier to Dover-Sherborn by a 3-2 score, which Shelly Belcher light it up. She's going to be going to college, playing college soccer in Pennsylvania, and that's a foul and a free kick for the Lancers as Jack O'Brien falls to the turf. And a free kick from about 25 out. But Michelle Belcher putting on a clinic earlier in the girls' soccer game here as they fell by a 3-2 score. Football tonight trying to avoid an 0-3 start, which would be drastic for their playoff chances on their first-year coach, Rob McCoy. They'll be in Dover-Sherborn tonight, trying to win their first match trying to win their first game of the season. Try and jumpstart something. They have Kyle Houlihan running on in. This one floated on up. This one headed in front. Off the net, off the woodwork. James Shue standing on his head. Time and time again, denying the Lancers yet another opportunity. Couldn't quite exactly make out who it went off of inside the 6, but it was a whole lot of players. Looks like it hit the top crossbar and dropped out. So the scores will remain level 0-0 here in the 23rd minute. And now things are going the other way for Dover-Sherborn. That one goes wide of the net. And what an opportunity for the Lancers. A great free kick from Brian Sullivan inside the 6. Had lots of opportunities, but unfortunately can only put it off the crossbar. And then James Shue jumped on it, making sure nobody could get near that one. Alexander sends this forward. The score is still level 0-0. And what might be the Lancers, maybe one of the Lancers' biggest tests this season. Medway was a large test in and of itself as they're currently leading the TVL Small, undefeated at 4-0-0 and 12 points. But the Lancers themselves have done a very good job against holding their own and even exceeding expectations against many of their top tests. This one floated on easily to Derek Alexander. 25th minute, 15 minutes to go in the first half, and this is where the flurry started last Friday for the Lancers against Westwood, in which they scored 4 goals in a matter of 15 minutes, including 2 from Jack O'Brien. George Bonani looking to get that one forward. Instead, it goes over the touchline for a Lancer throw. And it'll be Abuzed to do the honors. This shot from Turcotte out deep off of the defender and deflected to the outside. Now long throw, and here comes Edward Abuzed. The big-time throwing ability, and now they're going to bring in some height. And they'll sub out Alex Turcotte for Colton Hughes. '26th minute here. Abuzed trying to float this on towards the 6. He can reach that back cross, that back post. It'll try and do it again. This one in front, inside, and it's good. Finds its way inside the post, and the Lancers get a goal here in the 26th minute, and they'll take a 1-0 lead. Will O'Brien getting the job done off of an assist from Edward Abuzed, and the Lancers taking a 1-0 lead here, scoring yet another first half goal, which has been their mantra all season long. So for Will O'Brien, that's his 5th goal of the season, leading the team now by 2. Jack O'Brien right behind him with 3. Will O'Brien now with a goal in each of his last 3 games. Scored 1 against Westwood, 1 against Barrington, and now 1 tonight. This one pushed on forward. Turcotte trying to get it, doesn't work, and now Nick Chu will have to chase it back. Then here comes James Hackney trying to outrun him as that one floated on back. And Alexander will kick this one back out. For Edward Abuzed, it's his 3rd assist of the season, and all 3 have come off direct throw-ins from the far side. Had one last Friday, had one against Bellingham, and now he has his 3rd assist of the season today. Tied for Nick Chu now for the team lead. This one from way out, right to Shu. And he'll take it with ease. So a big-time goal for the Lancers here in the early going, giving them that 1-0 advantage, and now it's DS's time to come up with an equalizer. Still time before the half, 32nd minute. Apologies, 27th minute. The Lancers holding to a 1-0 lead. It's O'Brien passing this one back to Sullivan, who chases it down, passes it on with some force forward to Jack O'Brien, who's taken down. Sullivan up to Eno, turns around, tries to go with it, doesn't work. And this one will go to Nilt. Bodkis tried to race after it, didn't work. Now it's Houlihan. Floats this one on forward with a through pass to Eno. We'll push that over the touchline, and that one will go for a goal kick. Coach Eric Green giving some instructions on the sideline to the Lancers. And with that goal, that Lancer goal differential during their win streak, including tonight, is now at +11. They've outscored opponents 16-5 over their past 5 games, which is good for 3+ goals a game and only averaging 1. So we're here 28 minutes into Friday Night Soccer here on LSN. This one headed back to Alexander. He'll pick it up. The Lancers will go the other way with it. There's Jack O'Brien taken down there with a foul. We'll call the Lancers with a great opportunity here to try and get something going, try and get that lead a little bit further before the half. 29th minute, 1-0 the score. Will O'Brien scoring in the 26th minute. Off of a beautiful throw-in from Edward Abuzed. This one in on towards net, headed right back out, and a great clearance from the Dover-Sherborn Raiders. It's O'Brien. Already has a goal on the night. Passing it back to Houlihan. Pushing it to his left. Now we'll get it back and try and bring it up. From outside the 18. This one on the ground, trying to cross it to somebody. Doesn't work. And this one's picked up by James Shue. This half has really entirely been contained by the Norton Lancers. Not a ton of opportunities for Dover-Sherborn. They did have one great opportunity in front, but that was sailed high way above the crossbar. And this one goes over to the touchline. And now a throw-in. Houlihan will take this one off the throw and the turnover, looking to try and get it up, and a great takeaway, but a takedown of George Benini. Had a great move trying to move it up, but Andrew Dalton, a tackle there, bring him down to the ground in the grass, and now it'll be a free kick for Dover-Sherborn, trying to find an equalizer here on the 31st minute under the lights here at Robert Adams Field. This one, a through ball towards the net. This one headed out, and offsides is called, as DS was caught offside. Alexander kicking this one forward. We got about 9 minutes plus stoppage time until the half. 31st minute here on LSN. Remember, folks, coming up at the half is LSN at the half. We'll be breaking down the first half. A look around Lancer Nation tonight as well. Look ahead to the second half. We'll run down some highlights and such. We'll break it all down for you. LSN of the half coming up at the half right here on LSN's coverage of Friday Night Soccer. Edward Abuzed able to long throw here in the 32nd minute. Puts this one deep in towards the 18, but headed out. A great clearance, which Dover-Sherborn has done quite a few times here. Is this one in front? Shue tries to head it, but Shue is able to grab that one. Just the perfect amount of power in that from Abuzed. But it was James Shue who was there to grab before Nick Shue could get anything on it. And a foul there called on Shue. One 0 the score under the lights here at Robert Adams Field. This one pushed on forward. As it's George Benini called for a hold, and it'll be a Lancer goal kick. Benanani tried to push it forward. Derek Alexander had to make the save, and the ref called a foul as he pulled his opponent back towards him as he tried to move forward, trying to create some space. Fortunately for him, the ref saw it and called it accordingly. So it'll be brought up. Maximum Lockhart Craner pushes this one forward, back to Abuzed. So he'll take this one away, pushes it back to Derek Alexander, who puts it forward. Benanani controls it here. Pushes it over to Lockhart Craner. Craner back to Meninani. Lofts this forward and kicked out by Abuzed. Maximo Lockhart Kramer lofts this down deep. Trying to get an opportunity, doesn't work. Out of the reach of Christopher Mutt, we go to goal kick. 34th minute here in the first half is what has been quite uneventful for the Dover-Sherborn Raiders. As of late, they've been controlling quite a bit of possession, but in the early going, and especially up until that goal by Will O'Brien, it was anything but. The Lancers controlled possession almost for most of the first half. And it's shown in the scoreline with a 1-0 lead. Dalton looking to do something with it here. Pushes it down as Kabinski runs after it, and it's kicked out. Abuzet will do the honors here in the 35th. The Lancers down in this one, or up in this one by a score of 1-0. This one in the far corner. Looking to get something going here. As there's a tussle for the ball. And a foul will called. Will O'Brien jostling for position down there in the corner. Pushed over the Dover-Sherborn Raider defender. The ref calls it accordingly. This one will go up now. It's Declan D still pushing it forward. DJ Eno with an opportunity inside the 18, looking for a cross. Looked for Andrew Kabinski, but he wasn't there. So great thinking by DJ Eno. But Andrew Kabinski just couldn't get there fast enough, and the score will remain at 1-0 with DS still trying to find that equalizer, and they're trying to do it before the half. They haven't had any particularly close games besides the Natick tie. But this is looking a lot like that game last year on October 10th, in which they won 4-2. Lancers coming out early, coming out hot. And they've done that here tonight, establishing the momentum firmly in their presence. And now DS has to scramble back and try and find an equalizer. This one put on forward. DJ Eno trying to get after it, but it doesn't work. Lancers now hanging about 5 back. They're going with a 5-3-2 formation, with 5 in the back here to end the first half. Eno right behind him. Looked to pickpocket him, but couldn't get it to work. This one over to Conwell. Back to Kramer Lockhart. Sullivan heads it on forward. Now to be Kabinski. To O'Brien, who puts it back the other way. James Hackney has an opportunity outside the 18. 37th minute, looking for an equalizer, looking for a cross as they'll try and cross it back. And it went over the touchline. The far side ref indicating that will be a goal kick. One nothing Norton as we're streaking here towards the half on LSN. 37th minute, and Alexander with a goal kick. And it's Sal Brame heading this one out, and the Lancers will get an opportunity. You're just joining us. It's 1-0 Lancers, and they had quite the opportunities here in the early going as Eno looking to push this one over. O'Brien has it. Can't get it to work, and now DS will go the other way with it. The Lancers had quite the big opportunity, had a huge opportunity in the 12th minute. 3 straight opportunities, each one denied by James Shue inside the 6-yard box. And in the 23rd minute, they had maybe their biggest opportunity of the night that didn't result in the goal. A shot off a throw-in from Edward Abuzet that hit off the crossbar inside the 6-yard box. A mad dash for the ball, a mad scramble, which ended up with James Shue laying on the ground with the ball in his clutches, which led to the Lancers being denied on the scoreboard in the 23rd minute. But 3 minutes later, they'd finally get that goal. Will O'Brien breaking through with a fantastic header in the top corner off an equally fantastic throw from Edward Abuzet to make it 1-0 Norton Lancers. Here as we get towards the end of the first half, so we enter the 39th minute. The clock stops at 2 minutes as they'll switch over to the time and the referees watches. It's Kabinski moving this one forward. They have Jack O'Brien hanging out a little bit past midfield in the attacking half for the Lancers. As this through pass on towards Eno doesn't work. And Dover-Sherborn will play this one back to Shue. We'll pick it up.
Coming up at the half, LSN at the half, so we break down everything in the first half. Coming up next, conclusion of what should be not too much stoppage time. It's been a pretty even-flowing game, quick-flowing game here in the early going. It'll be Edward Abuzed grabbing this one out over the touchline. He'll look ready to throw. Already has an assist here tonight, trying to get his second one. As we Will O'Brien thought he was getting sub for, comes back into the fold inside the 18-yard box. So it's Abuzed chucking this one on towards net in front, headed out by Dover-Sherborn, who has about every single opportunity besides Will O'Brien's goal has been able to head that out. Now they'll take this the other way, and Abuzed from behind pickpockets him on a fantastic tackle to kick this one out. And what looked like a fantastic run for Han Martin here in the Dover-Sherborn Raiders was nullified by a fantastic tackle from behind by Edward Abuzed, saving what could have been an equalizer. We're here in the 40th minute. This one up in the air. And that will end the first half. What a first half it's been. Lots of opportunities for the Lancers. Not too many for the Dover-Sherborn Raiders as the Lancers will take a 1-0 scoreline into the half. LSN into the half. Coming up next is from under the floodlights here at Robert Adams Field. Through 40 minutes of action, the Lancers leading this one by a score of 1-0.
Hello, folks. Welcome into LSN in the half. I'm Javid Blake. The Lancers leading tonight 1-0 thanks to a Will O'Brien goal in the 26th minute off of a huge Edward Abuzed throw-in. That's been his third throw-in that has resulted in an assist this season. The kid has been absolutely nuts on all sides of the ball tonight. Came up with a huge defensive tackle, which pretty much saved Diaz from scoring an equalizer there in the 40th minute. And the Lancers, on the other hand, they've been controlling all of the momentum, all of the possession. They've had plenty of opportunities. They could even be up 3-0 right now if it wasn't for the back line of DS, which has basically been saving themselves all night long. The Lancers have had a plethora of free kicks, a plethora of opportunities, and a plethora of corners as well. But DS has been there to stop them time and time again, clearing them away with headers, clearing it out with kicks, and James Shue standing on his head as well. We saw that in the 12th minute when he jumped on 3 different Lancer opportunities in order to keep this game tied at 0-0, which then eventually resulted in a 1-0 lead, which was a shot that was just outside of his reach. But the Lancers, they've had their opportunities, and they look to continue it in the second half against a relatively untested Derek Alexander, who has not had to face any shots tonight, if any. He's only had to face 1 shot on target, and it's really resulted from the lack of possession Dover-Sherborn has had deep in their own zone. They've had it back in midfield, but guys like Brian Sullivan and Kyle Llewellyn have been able to stop them time and time again. You've seen Andrew Dalton out there who said his name multiple times, but it's been Brian Sullivan, that senior, leading that back cast of defenders who has really been without even Degbor coming into this year, which was a big question mark for the team, but they've shown up in a big way, and they're really paving the way to what could be another Lancer victory tonight, which could be their 5th in a row. The Lancers for the second half, they really just have to do more of what they're doing, more of the same, and what's probably what Coach Green is saying in the huddle. They've had their opportunities, it just hasn't converted for them, and they're hoping to get some more here in the second half, which has led to the Lancers in the first half using it another goal. They now scored 10 in the first half during their win streak to try and extend that lead and try to bury DS here in the early going. James Shue, on the other hand for DS, and James Shue and the DS defense, they just have to keep doing what they're doing. They've been beat just one time, and they just have to convert that defense into offense. So we're going to see if anything can happen here in the second half. Coming up next here on LSN, this is LSN at the half. I am Javid Blake. The score through 40 minutes, the Lancers leading this one by a score of 1-0. Hello, folks. Welcome back into our broadcast. I'm Javid Blake. Lancers holding a 1-0 lead as we start the second 40 minutes of action here from Robert Adams Field. As we'll switch things up. Going left to right now will be the Dover-Sherborn Raiders, and going right to left will be the Norton Lancers. The Lancers wearing their all-purple uniforms here tonight, as Dover-Sherborn in their white jerseys, blue shorts, and white socks. This one pushed on forward. It's Kyle Houlihan, who has it from the outside, can't get it, and a foul is called.
This one headed on back. The Lancers trying to get it forward and doesn't work. And a shove there. Looks like a body check from George Benini. It's like he took it right out of the Boston Bruins playbook. The Lancers still kick this one. Very much a foul there. We've seen it a couple of times from both teams tonight. Lots of jostling, trying to get position, especially in those corners. And they're in midfield. Diaz trying to get something moving. Gave a little bit too much of a shove there. They both went up for the header, and the foul is called here in the 42nd minute. A long boot downfield from Derek Alexander. Edward Abuzet will try and get this one as it goes over the touchline. And he'll have a long, long throw, trying to get his second assist of the night, assisted on Will O'Brien's goal back in the 26th minute. As Coach Green once again subbing in for some height, as Colton Hughes comes into the fold. Abuzet with a long throw for the near side of the 18. Inside the 6-yard box, can't get it to work, and Diaz will go the other way with it. Diaz has really stifled almost every single opportunity for the Lancers to get something going off of a throw-in besides that one goal. And a great move by Nick Chu there to lose his defender as DJ Eno slipping on the grass. It'll be Maximo Lockhart Kramer who sends this one on towards Eric Alexander, and he'll get a cold kick. Here in the 43rd minute, we'll whip around Lancer Nation quickly. We told you earlier, the varsity girls soccer team falling by a score of 3-2. They made it close, though, in the end with some great opportunities from Michelle Belcher. She scored 2 on the night. She's going to be going to Pennsylvania next year to play college soccer. Norton football, on the other hand, down 9-7 with 8:30 remaining in the game against Dover-Sherborn. Their offense has been stifled almost all night long as they try to get their first win of the season, as Edward Abuzet will have a long throw. This one, a long throw in towards the box. The perfect opportunity. This one up and over the net. The great opportunity. And the last game being played in Lancer Nation, besides this one, is girls volleyball, who defeated in 3 games Dedham, and thrashing them in the early going with a 25-3 score in the first set, 25-19. And they just pretty much took care of business in the third set, which extends their record to quite a few games over 500 as they're looking to make a playoff push. They made the playoffs last year, and they're trying to get back to it this year as well. The very senior-heavy squad. This one on towards net in front and headed wide. Easy to pick up for Derek Alexander. Alexander sends this one on towards the attacking half for the Lancers. This one will go out of the reach of Christopher Much. It'll be Agustin Perez Vizzini trying to move it forward. Doesn't work now. It's back to George Benini. Benini gives that away. And now we'll take it back to his defensive half. Plays it back. Lancers will move this one forward here. You got Andrew Dalton trying to get it moving. Eno has it on the far side. Crossed it into the box. A great opportunity, but no one was there. Chu sends this one on towards net. And over the touchline and out of play for a goal kick. The Dover-Sherborn Raiders, head coached by Joe Grushik. They've enjoyed quite the success. We said earlier in the broadcast, 31-5-9 in their last 2 years. And Grushik 40-11-11 since 2015. But they've been a program that has been dominant since the 1980s. Their TVL back-to-back TVL titles was their first back-to-back league titles since 1988 and 89, when they won 10 league titles in 12 years, from 1978 to 1989. They win the league title twice. As a program itself, they only have 15, which goes to tell you. Since then, they haven't had quite as many. They had one in 99, but 16 and 17. They've really been turning it back on, trying to get back to that program that was an absolute dynasty back in the 1980s. They do have a state championship to their program's name, much like the Lancers, as an ill-advised opportunity goes the wayside. As Jack O'Brien almost came out of nowhere, the sophomore. Tried to take that one away as we're here in the 47th minute. They do have the Dover-Sherborn Raiders do have a state title to their name, much like the Lancers. They won it in 2010, their only state title as a program, much like the Lancers. Relatively recent. The Lancers 3 years ago in 2015. For Dover-Sherborn, it was 8 years ago. So a long throw now for Edward Abized, trying to get something going, trying to add to that Lancer lead. As they'll have 6 in the box. The long throw in on towards net and wide of everybody and over the touchline. So a goal kick now. They'll send this one forward. It's John Muckstadt, the captain. And really the main man on defense, been saying his name multiple times, is Glenn Galdicott. Passes this one forward and pushed off his man as Ben Pescott coming out of seemingly nowhere to make that tackle. The Lancers, 32 minutes away from breaking Dover-Sherborn's 13-game unbeaten streak in the regular season. This one passed on back. This one in front. Eno with an opportunity. A huge one right in front of the net, but couldn't get anything to work as James Shue faltering here as of late. He's had 2 opportunities in front of the net. He's almost given away to the Lancers. And he's gotten lucky both times. Maximo Lockhart-Kramer giving this one up as it's Declan Diestel. Passing this one forward to Eno, who turns around and passes it over to Will O'Brien. Houlihan has it. Back to O'Brien. And a sprawling stop by Eric Nilt to keep that one from advancing forward and pushing the Lancers back, even if it's just for a second. Diestel trying to move this one forward, trying to put a move on as well. And whistles are blown. So a free kick now for the Dover-Sherborn Raiders. Here in the 50th minute, they're looking for an equalizer. They've been looking one for quite some time. The Lancers scoring back in the 26th minute. This one long towards the net. Headed on back in front. And he trips over the ball. Derek Alexander will recover this one, and a huge opportunity goes the wayside as George Benani had a wide open opportunity right in front of the net, but was stifled as he tripped over the ball. Now, there's something you don't see every day. As this one goes downfield, it's Jack O'Brien. This one in front, an opportunity. The Lancers trying to turn that momentum that Dover-Sherborn had on that rush into something big. As it's Han Martin here. Turns it over to Brian Sullivan, and we got a whistle as the player's down. It's George Benani. And my apologies, it's Elliot Hammernass, who will walk off slowly here for a sub. Dover-Sherborn squad, very senior and junior heavy. Not a single underclassman listed on this roster, listed on their varsity roster. And they've been doing quite well. This group has been here for a while. They've done a lot of good things. They're just missing that state championship that has eluded them for the past 3 years. Nick Chu trying to get this one, able to box out his man. Just for a moment, let the ball go over the touchline as they'll get a throw. 51st minute here. Lancers leading this one 1-0 thanks to a goal from Will O'Brien back in the 26th minute with an assist from Edward Abuzet, his third of the season. This one to Sullivan. Trying to pass it over, doesn't work, and now going to be Dover-Sherborn going the other way with it. Passes this one forward as it's pitched back. And Kabinski with a quick throw here, trying to get it moving in a hurry. As it's Zeno. Playing this one back to Kabinski from outside. Hits it with the wrong part of the foot. This one goes to the wayside. Here comes O'Brien. Trying to cross this one over toward the back shoe, able to pick it up. And here in the 52nd minute, he'll chuck this one on towards midfield. And now an opportunity. Benatti trying to make up for the goal he didn't score last rush. And substitutions coming on for Dover-Sherborn here as this one gets whistled back. This one thrown on in towards the 18-yard box, kicked out. And possession this half, much more balanced than it was in the first half. It was very much slanted towards the Lancers in that first half. The Lancers had plenty of opportunities, but it's been Dover-Sherborn really having the chances. The shots have been low. The Lancers only with 2. And DS with 1. This one kicked on forward. It's very much become a very defensive-minded game, which is the way usually soccer is. If you're the leading team, you kind of start to hang back and just try to contain the offense. Is Alex Turcotte with a good pickpocket there. Trying to get that one away as that one goes over the touchline. And a throw in now for Andrew Kabinski. It'll be Kyle Houlihan with a big throw, actually. This one goes downfield. Alex Turcotte trying to get after it, and a big slide tackle and throws it away is John Muckstadt. So if you're DS, you might have wanted that one to go out as a corner. Edward Abuzet will come in trying to make magic happen again for the second time tonight. And the 4th time this season. There's a throw from deep. The Lancers on corners being taken by G.G. Eno these past 2 games as Romario Harrison has been out. But it'll be Edward Abuzet doing the honors here. Throws this one inside towards the 6. Headed up and shoot. Not grabbing that one as that one goes the wayside of him. And here in the 55th minute, the Lancers clinging to that 1-0 advantage. This one booted on towards midfield. Head in the air by the Lancers, kept in back by the Dover-Sherborn Raiders. As Kabinski takes this one. Given away, now it's Benini. We've been saying his name a lot in this second half. He's been showing up a whole lot as he's tripped up there, and a foul called. We've been saying his name a whole lot in the second half. He's been involved in a plethora of opportunities for the Dover-Sherborn Raiders. And he'll have a free kick here, trying to find an equalizer. From about 40 out. This one kicked it on towards net. Just a bit too much muscle on it as it flies over everybody. And over the touchline. Derek Alexander with a goal kick here. As him and Eric Green's Norton Lancers trying for his 151st victory for the squad. But he's going to have an opportunity here. The Dover-Sherborn Raiders getting this one on. A good cross, but it's stifled away by Brian Sullivan, and they'll clear it out. Down to Gigianu, who heads this one forward. Kept up a bit by Maximo Lockhart-Kramer. That's going back towards midfield. The Lancers with an opportunity with a defender streaking down his back. It's Alex Turcotte who slid into and a big tackle, and he'll go down. A foul there on the Lancers. It'll actually be a throw-in as they'll get a throw-in on the far side as Alex Turcotte coming out of that game. It looks like a hard tackle to get that ball away. Hard but legal. This one will be thrown in from Abuzet. 57th minute, 1-0 Lancers. This one in front. Dalton can't get it as he's kicked high up on the leg. As Glenn Caldecott grabs this one for Dover-Sherborn. Elliot Hammerness sends this one on forward. Sullivan gets this one back in front of the net. An opportunity for Dover-Sherborn. They'll have it inside the 18. That one blocked. And a big one by Kyle Houlihan. They'll try again. This one on the ground and picked up. And what an opportunity there for Dover-Sherborn. They had a huge opportunity up front. And this final just in from Dover-Sherborn, the Lancers falling by a score of 9-7 in football, which will drop them to 0-3 on the season. And what they thought was going to be a great night to get a win for them, their second straight loss by less than 10 points. They lost last week 34-30 at Medfield, and this week they lost 39-7, losing by only 2. This one will be brought up by Kabinski here. 58th minute. And that shot wide and out of play. So the Lancers dropping 0-3 on the season for football. They will be back home next week against Bellingham, which should be a great matchup for them, a great matchup to win. You can see it right here on LSN, as we'll have all of your coverage. Scooting, a little secret that we're trying something new, a little brand new way to do the pregame show. Very excited to share it with you. Stay tuned to @LSN_Norton on Twitter for all your updates throughout the week. The Lancers here in soccer winning 1-0, and they're trying to get something going here. Brian Sullivan kicks this one high and out of play. As Dover-Sherborn pushes this one forward. It's Elliot Hammerness. Passing this one to Sal Bram. Back to Hammerness. Pitches it forward as Abuzet kicks this one back. As Derek Alexander sends it forward. Sullivan racing to chase this one down over the touchline and out of play it goes. We're about halfway through the second half here. 60th minute. The Lancers leading this one by a score of 1-0. So the other side of things, besides football in Lancer Nation, girls soccer losing by a score of 3-2. Shelly Belcher netting 2 goals in that one, in volleyball winning in straight sets, 3-0 over the Dedham Martyrs. We're new to the TVL as of last year, and the Lancers will see them in just a couple of days at home. Their next home game, October 2nd, is against Dedham here at Robert Allen Field, and the whistle blown. Free kick now for Dover-Sherborn, trying to find an equalizer here in the 61st minute of action here on LSN. Friday Night Soccer, I'm Javik Blake. And what a matchup it's been tonight. If you're just joining us, well, free kick here for Dover-Sherborn, and they're down by 1 thanks to Will O'Brien goal, assisted by Edward Abuzet. This one on towards the box. Doesn't work. And now the Lancers will go the other way with it. You got DJ Eno and Andrew Dalton doing the work. This one goes over the touchline, a throw for the Lancers. Edward Abuzet will do the honors. Abuzet will get the throw. Tonight's lone goal scorer, Will O'Brien, getting in on the action, as well as Alec Weeman. Haven't seen him tonight. Comes into the fold, the senior defender. Will stand at the far side of the post. This one, a long throw inside the net, headed out by Dover-Sherborn, as Kyle Houlihan's volley goes just wide of the net and out of play. So will Lancer win here tonight, could put them at 5-1-0, as well as 4-1-0 in the TVL. Should be a huge boost for a team with a whole lot of changeover coming into this year. There's a whistle blown here, and we'll get a redo on the goal kick. So the goal kick here in the 63rd minute. The Lancers leading this one by a score of 1-0. Dover-Sherborn has been trying to find an equalizer ever since Will O'Brien scored, and they failed to do so time and time again. They had a great opportunity just a few minutes ago in the 51st minute as George Benaniti had an opportunity in the 6-yard box, a huge opportunity in the 6-yard box. If that, except he tripped over the ball when he went to go take his shot. Result in Derek Alexander just picking it up like nothing was doing. It's Norton grabbing this one. Will O'Brien trying to take it as the Lancers have it on the far side. Elliott Hammernass able to push that one out of play. Now the Lancers will concede possession here. So the Lancers will get a throw here in the 64th minute, trying to get something going and try and score the second goal of the night. This one had a chance, but it goes over the net for a goal kick. So Medway today in the small division action, extending their unbeaten streak to 5. Now 5-0-0 in the year with 15 points. Lancers can only chase them as of now, after their big loss on opening night to a tune of 4-0. It's the Medway Mustangs. As this one brought up here, Dover-Sherborn has an opportunity. Looking to get something going. Outside the 18, a cross in front, and Derek Alexander grabbing that one up. But Medway today defeated Bellingham by a score of 5-2 as Bellingham drops to 1-4-0 on the season. But Medway continuing to lead the TVL small, and a very good squad as that one goes high and wide as Jack O'Brien trying to get one from way out there for the Norton Lancers. And the final game in action in the TVL small, the Dedham Marauders improved to 2-3-0 on the season, defeating the Millis Mohawks by a score of 3-1 in Dedham today, which improves Dedham to 2-3-0 on the season with 6 points. So a loss for Dover-Sherborn would put them only 3 points clear of the Dedham Marauders. Sullivan pushes this one forward to Andrew Kabinski. Spins, turns, passes it over to Houlihan. Nick Chu, forward to Kabinski, who gets that one picked away for him by Maximo Lockhart-Craner. This one goes out of play, but a quick throw back in as the Lancers going quickly. As Kabinski looked to push this one out when he was trying to jostle it with Elliott Conlow. And the Lancers will hang back here. Lancers going back to their standard formation, 3 men up front at the forward position. On the other hand, Dover-Sherborn looks like at times like they'll put 5 up there, but it's usually a 4-1-5 formation, which is what they're clinging to late. Which is very interesting that Dover-Sherborn hasn't switched over their formation. It looks like they'll now switch more to a 4-2-4. Here's where we enter the late stage of this one, 67th minute, but they desperately need a goal to avoid losing for the first time in 13 matches. They're losing for the second straight year on Lancer home turf.
It's a delay of game.
Lucas Bodkins throwing this one in forward. And over the touchline off a Raider. Abuzet trying to control this one over the touchline. Now a long throw for him here. We're entering the late stages of this one. Not a whole lot of action here in the second half. Most of the action came quick and early in the second half for the Norton Lancers. Houlihan trying to bring that one up. Doesn't work, and now it's Abuzet. Kicks this one forward, and it's out of the reach of DJ Eno. Alec Weeman searching on it on James Shue. Will pick this one up, rolls it over. And now it's Liam Walsh sending this one forward. Abuzet heads it up. The Lancers with a good opportunity. Possession been about even here on the second half. Both teams kind of playing with a balanced attack. Wouldn't be surprised if Dover-Sherborn changed that up as the Lancers. They're really pushing the ball deep in the attacking zone, trying to get that second goal here late. Will O'Brien pass this one over to Houlihan. Back to O'Brien. Pass it up to Kabinski, who tries to cross this one in front to Eno. Tries to back kick it. This one in front. And a kick from long out for Lou O'Brien. Goes right into the hands of James Shue. And a throw right away, and now it'll be up for Dover-Sherborn. They have the numbers on an attack. Applying pressure inside the 18. It's Elliot Hammerness. Passes this one over to nobody, and Houlihan will take this one up. Kicks this one long downfield, trying to clear this one out. But it's headed back into the attacking half. It's George Benini. He had a huge opportunity back in the 51st minute and couldn't convert. Couldn't get a shot off, but this one goes the other way. Edward Abuzet passed this one up. It's Jack O'Brien with an opportunity to get something going as Alec Weeman. Trying to push that one forward, but it doesn't work. Ticking towards around 10 minutes to go in this one. Plus stoppage time as well as we enter the 70th minute of play here on LSN. The Lancers holding on to a 1-0 lead. Almost the same story as Dover-Sherborn had in their last game. They were up 1-0 until very late in that one with about 2 minutes to go. They allowed a goal in the 79th minute to Natick, which led to that one being a tie, their one and only tie of this season. Though they did etch a tie, they did sneak in a tie tonight. It would be their 10th over the last 2 years. This one, A ground cross in front, went through almost everybody, and the opportunity for Dalton goes wayside, and now it'll go the other way. Only 6 of the Lancers' 13 shots on frame tonight as we enter the 71st minute. The Lancers leading this one by a score of 1-0, and Kyle Houlihan clears this one downfield and picked up by James Shue. Lancers now looking with 5 men in the back. Now 6. Now 7 with only 3 men up front. Now it's Turcotte sending this one on towards DJ Eno. This one goes out over the touchline. Now Dover-Sherborn will have a throw. 8:50 plus stoppage time left in this one here, the 73rd minute. My apologies, the 72nd minute of action here on LSN. Friday Night Soccer, I'm Javic Blake. The Lancers cling to a 1-0 lead thanks to a Will O'Brien goal back in the 26th minute, and they have an opportunity here. It's Glenn Caldecott pushing this one back, who gets this one passed forward to Will O'Brien. And now an opportunity. Jack O'Brien looked at an opportunity. DJ Eno with one in front, can't get a shot off of some. That back line for Dover-Sherborn, time and time again being the bread and butter of this team. They just haven't been able to produce anything on offense. 73rd minute now, still 1-0. Lancers trying to improve to 5-1-0. Dover-Sherborn trying to extend their unbeaten streak in the regular season to 13 straight matches. And giving this one up, passed on back to George Benini. Has this one right over midfield to Lockhart Kramer. Passed this one up, kicked away. The Lancers staving off yet another Dover-Sherborn opportunity here with time running out. In this one, as they've been trying to find an equalizer since the 26th minute, have come up time and time again short with only 4 shots on target tonight. The other side of things, the Lancers having 6. This one up forward from outside the 18. The shot over the crossbar. What an opportunity. Maybe the best opportunity of the night. And it's just over the crossbar. And now they have a little bit of momentum. Score still standing at 1-0 Lancers, but maybe the best opportunity of the night, maybe the best shot of the night for both teams. With Dover-Sherborn just inching it over the crossbar. It's the Lancers that hit back in the 23rd minute when they had their flurry of opportunities, and now a foul called, and now in the 75th minute, Dover-Sherborn applying some pressure and applying an opportunity. They're moving everybody up here. Six men moving towards the box. The Lancers last line standing at the edge of the 18. This one kicked on forward. In front of an opportunity. This one headed back in front. Alexander able to grab that one. And saving the Lancers once again. Derek Alexander, sneaky good. Has been sneaky good in net over this stretch of the Lancers win streak. And now a free kick for the Lancers here. A great opportunity. Han Martin here had a great opportunity right in front of the net. Looked like he tried to just flick it up a bit too high, and Derek Alexander was able to corral it. 76th minute, 1-0 still, the Lancers leading. This one sent on in. Headed up and out by Dover-Sherborn, which they've done time and time again. That back line being really the main focal point of this offense, of this defensive set. And a timeout here by the Dover-Sherborn Raiders as we enter the 76th minute. The chances mounting and the opportunities getting a lot greater for the Dover-Sherborn Raiders as we reach towards the end of this one. 1-0 the score right here on Friday Night Soccer on LSN. Robert Adams Field, I'm Javic Blake. Max Switzer doing the camera up top as we streak towards the finish in this one. 76th minute. The Lancers leading this one by a 1-0 score. Dover-Sherborn, their opportunities have been mounting as of late, especially in the second half of the 74th minute. A shot from just outside the 18 went right over the crossbar. George Benini had a huge opportunity back in the 51st minute. They just had an opportunity just a few moments ago as they're advancing downfield. Yet another throw here from about 30 yards from goal. This one on towards the 18, headed in and kicked out by the Lancers. They control possession almost all the first half and for the middle part of the second, but as of late, it's been all Dover-Sherborn with all of the momentum. 77th minute now. Dalton pushes this one forward through the legs of a defender as Dover-Sherborn is able to just push this one up. Coming up next, LSN Extra Time. We'll have an interview with Coach Green, as well as the recap of the game as Egino with an opportunity right in front. James Shue was able to deflect that one away. The Lancers, 8th shot on target tonight. And the numbers coming in support. It's Benanini. We've said his name quite a few times tonight, trying to advance it up. Nice one, pushed it inside the 18. Now a huge opportunity, but it's kicked down on a great play by Ben Pescott. And now a throw here. The Dover-Sherborn Raiders. This one chucked on towards the 18. Brian Sullivan able to kick this one out with a great header as this one picked on forward by Alex Turcotte. 78th minute, 1-0 Lancers. This one thrown in.
Over him!
As it's headed back out, the Lancers headers as of late have come in clutch. This one sent downfield to a streaking Eno, who's trying to make an opportunity here, trying to get something going, and he's taken down and a whistle blown. And a yellow card. It looks like it'll be on number 19, Elliot Conlow. So Elliot Conlow will pick up the yellow card here late in the 78th minute, but it sets up the Lancers with a great opportunity to try and take a 2-0 advantage and pretty much all but wrap this one up. This one sent on towards net in front. Eno trying to make the opportunity work with a great header on a wide open opportunity, but couldn't get it to work. This one sent on up. As the Lancers controlling possession here in the later few moments. A 1-0 game is exactly what you want to do. Can't get too lackadaisical and hang back defensively, and then we've been applying the offensive pressure. This one from deep and out. DJ Eno with quite the opportunity. So we're here in the 80th minute. 1-0 the Lancers leading. The last hope for Dover-Sherborn Raiders is resting on whatever happens on this rush here. James Shue, who stood on his head all night long and has kept Dover-Sherborn in this, could easily have been 4-0. Wasn't for his play in net tonight. DJ Eno have an opportunity now. Has it on the far side outside the 18. Doubles back. Now go forward again. Just wasting some time as Weeman trying to get it, and a foul will call. The Lancers will get a free kick. Here in the 80th, the minute ticking down towards the end of the Lancers, who have really controlled the game all night long, are about to wrap up their 5th straight victory. They'll improve to 5-1-0 on the season. Eno taking the set piece in from deep, and that one will go in outside the reach of James Shue and DJ Eno. Scoring here in the 80th minute, the Lancers will wrap this one up. What a goal from DJ Eno. So last Friday at home, DJ Eno had a huge opportunity on a free kick, scored it, they called it off. This week he'll get a goal off of a free kick, his 3rd of the season. DS will grab this one down now 2-0. Alexander will jump on this one, and that'll all but wrap this one up. The Lancers will go to 5-1-0, winning 5 straight since dropping the game to Medway on opening night by a 4-0 score. The Raiders will drop to 4-1-1. Lancers overtaking them in the TVL now with 12 points. The record of the TVL at 4-1-0. Dover-Sherborn's 3-1-0. Just waiting for the referee's whistle here as the Lancers' goals in stoppage time continue. Last Friday they had 2 in stoppage time. Tonight they have 1. Waiting for the referee's whistle here. Derek Alexander, the Lancers, has to be very happy tonight. We'll be speaking to head coach Eric Green as this one in front. The shot saved by Alexander, and saves this one again by falling on it. And a corner now, but a great save by Derek Alexander. A great save on an even better opportunity for the Dover-Sherborn Raiders. A corner kick here in stoppage time. This one in front of the net. And a foul will called. Lots of stoppage time added on here. But the Lancers should be walking out with a 2-0 victory. Scoring in another first half goal, which brings their total to 10 in their last 4 games. In the first half, as Derek Alexander improves to 5-1-0 in his first season as the Lancers starting keeper. And that's the final whistle, and that will do it. Coach Eric Green gets number 151 as the Lancers take down the Dover-Sherborn Raiders, maybe their biggest test of the year. And they do so handily, a 2-0 scoreline right here on Friday Night Soccer on LSN. I'm Javik Blake. LSN Extra Time coming up next. The Lancers taking care of business as they improve to 5-1-0. The Raiders drop to 4-1-1. LSN Extra Time coming up next for a beautiful night here at Robert Allen Field. Lots of excitement and quite a few goals for the Lancers as well. The Lancers will take home this one by a score of 2-0 right here on LSN.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to LSN Extra Time. I'm here with Coach Green. Coach, your team has now won 5 straight, dismantling a team that looked very good coming in once again. What's changed from your first match when you lost to Medway?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we just got back to the drawing board. These boys stayed really, really focused. You know, we knew that we had a lot to learn. They practice hard every single game, and, you know, they're implementing what we talk about in practice in the game. And, you know, we're just looking to focus on improving every single game, and I think that's what we're seeing right now.
And this is your second test this week. You had a big game against Barrington. You guys were able to win this. You were able to win tonight. What is with this team?
I don't know, but I like it. You know, whatever works. But, you know, we all believe in each other, you know, so we don't get down. And, you know, especially after that first loss and all that, you know, we know what our potential is, and we stay to everything that we've been working on.
And yet again, Jack O'Brien and Will O'Brien coming up huge on the offensive side. What's it like having both of them together on the team?
It's awesome. I mean, they're 2 very, very physical kids in the center of the field, which clearly helps us out a lot. But their technique and really controlling the middle is outstanding. As well as Dalton when we work him in there, Hooley when we work him in there. I think the center mids have been doing an outstanding job for us.
And as far as this tough stretch, this has been a very tough stretch for you, maybe one of the hardest you've had during your last few years. How is it going to help you guys going forward?
Yeah, I mean, 2 back-to-back really, really tough opponents within, a couple of days, only 1 day off there. It's good. It shows the strength of us, the resilience of us, also the fitness and all that. So I think it's really good knowing that we can get through tough weeks like this.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Good. Best of luck against Hopkinton, which should be another tough test, but if these games are any indication, you guys should do quite fine. We'll be back with more Allison Extra Time right after this, right here on LSN. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Allison Extra. I'm Javid Blake. With the likes of Ian Pereira, Eben Degbor, and Roy Bukowski in the house, the Lancers just couldn't lose, and they didn't tonight. They won 2-0 in a commanding victory over Dover-Sherborn, their 3rd straight commanding victory over a very tough opponent. They beat Westwood 8-3, they beat Barrington 3-1, and they win tonight 2-0 over Dover-Sherborn. Their 5th straight win in general. Since they lost that opening match, they've been on a tear, scoring 17 goals and only allowing 5 in those 5 games, and it didn't stop tonight. Will O'Brien scored a goal in the 26th minute off yet another Edward Abuzed throw, his 3rd assist from a throw this season. The kid from the outside has been doing beautiful things for the Lancers. They're loving every single bit of it. DJ Eno added on to the total and really sent this game over. In the 80th minute when he scored off a free kick. If you remember last Friday, his free kick got denied and called no goal. Well, this week he did it a little bit differently, just outside of the reach of James Shue, and that led to a 2-0 Lancer victory. Derek Alexander in net, once again standing his ground. He's been fantastic all season long. He's really grown into that role as a starting goalkeeper his junior season. We haven't seen a whole lot of him until this season, but this season he's done quite the great job of helping the Lancers build this 5-game winning streak. On the other side of things, the Dover-Sherborn Raiders, they got chances in the second half, but it just wasn't enough. Too little, too late. They had a great opportunity in the 51st minute by Benanini, who had a huge opportunity right in the 6-yard box, but he ran over the ball, and that was really the only good opportunity that Dover-Sherborn had to tie that game up. And without that, well, there wasn't really much to it. James Shue played very well, and that back line turned away time and time again every Lancer opportunity. It could have been 5, even 6-0 at some points, but the Lancers just could not get it past that back line of the Dover-Sherborn defense. For the Lancers, their next game is going to be at Hopkinton, another tough test. Last time these two teams met, they tied 1-1, but Hopkinton currently is sitting in 2nd place in the TBL Large. For the Dover-Sherborn Raiders, their next game will be at Holliston. This road doesn't get any easier for them, as Holliston is 1st in the TBL Large. So the final score tonight from Robert Adams Field, 2-0 Lancers. They improved to 5-1-0 now on the season, sitting firmly in 2nd place in the TVL. So for everyone here at LSN, I'm Javid Blake. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next Friday as Norton Lancers take on the Bellingham Blackhawks in the football action right here on LSN.